Okay, folks, it's your buddy, it's your pal, Mike Messier. I'm here in sunny Florida, USA. You know, I guess I'm glad I'm here because I know I'm glad I'm here. Although it is a hot day, um, there's obviously some people that are suffering in the world, and even in the USA. I mean, we got these whole crises, Afghanistan, and now New Orleans, and these New Orleans folks can't get a break. I mean, they probably still recovering in some aspects from Katrina 15 or 16 years ago, and here you go again. So before we launch into just seemingly trivial matters about whatever I'm thinking about, always think about those that are going through hard times in the world. Uh, However, I showed a bit of restraint today, folks. I was kind of getting my day going. I was on the television. I had the YouTube. Have YouTube hooked into my TV. I don't know if some of you don't know that, but you can actually, with pretty much any smart TV or any recent TV, you can watch YouTube on your big screen. So you can watch me and anything else on YouTube on your big television. If you don't have the latest and greatest televisions that have that built in through your cable or whatever, you can take an HDMI wire, hook it up from your laptop uh, into your TV, or you can do a thing on your phone. Usually, there's something now that's usually called AirPlay or Screen or whatever. So there's all these wonderful ways you can watch YouTube on your television. You can watch all the fun you see on YouTube on your big TV. Now, for me, I had to say today, as I saw these pop-ups of thumbnails of horrible things happening in the world, especially this thing in New Orleans, I just had to spare myself. There was a part of me that was whispering in my ear, Mike, you got to turn it on. You got to be informed. You have to know what's going on. But quickly that was overridden by this Uber brain, this Uber mind that said, "Well, I kind of know the basic points. I'm gathering that people are suffering, people are dying, and from a personal note, there's nothing that I will probably be able to do about it right now. Maybe make a donation or something at some point. But as far as this minute, as far as waking up and just getting my brain unfogged, if I just watch death and destruction of people's lives, how is that going to help them and how is that going to help me? And, you know, I think we've talked about this before. Some of you might have relatives or even yourself that find yourself watching these crime shows. There's tons of these shows. They're kind of like unsolved mysteries to the next level. Shows where people are someone's been killed and they're trying to figure out who did it and putting together the clues. And there's a certain element of intrigue and fun to those shows. You feel like a little detective yourself. On the other hand, a lot of those shows get pretty graphic and they get into the dark details of how somebody was murdered. And if you ever seen somebody who just watches episode after episode of those shows, it's almost like an addictive drug. And I wonder about the psyche of the individual who watches that. Just putting that out there. So my point for you folks, take it or leave it, is we have choices every day that are we going to go down a path, and a lot of these things we don't even think of as choices. Well, of course I saw it in the news. I had to watch it. I had to read the daily paper. I had to put on YouTube and social media, and all this crap was there. And sometimes it seems like we're powerless to not hit the Twitter button or not look for those likes on Facebook. Sometimes it's hard to resist hitting those buttons that distract us. But what I'm telling you is, we all have a choice. We all have a choice to not be distracted by things, and and to choose the intake, the recipe, the ingredients for our day. Now, Adam's got a point, which I'll bring up in a second. Adam, hold on. There was this quote fight. Woodley, Paul, one of these Paul brothers, Jake Paul or whatever. Based on the last one, which I think was the brother Logan Paul, if I have all the names right, just seeing how that seemed to be a rigged affair, I had little to no interest in watching another Paul fight. I mean, not that I paid to watch the last one, but I did see it and see that it looked like Mayweather basically allowed Paul to stand on his feet and not get knocked out. Well, if that's the temerity or if that's the integrity of these fights, why would I be excited to even, stream this for free? That was the buzz of the people I know. They didn't want to pay for it, but they just wanted to see it for free. Adam's got a statement. Did you watch Joe Biden in St. Louis NWA promo? I mean, Ric Flair. How did I get that mixed up? Uh, I don't know, bro. I didn't. I mean, I guess I didn't watch. I know that John Goodman did something for the NWA, which is nice. I've been subscribing to the NWA, Adam. Their $5 a month thing on Fight. To be honest, there's a couple of people in there. The Pope is very talented. But as far as this Trevor Murdoch goes, I don't know if I would put Trevor Murdoch. No offense. I mean, he seems like a guy who would be a good challenger, but to actually put the belt on him just so that he doesn't retire, it's a stretch for me as a wrestling fan. I'm not a fan of. No offense, but I think Trevor Murdoch's more of a guy that you want to see once in a while. You don't want to put a bolt on him. Exactly, Trevor's a jobber. I would just say that I do respect what they're doing with the NWA, with Billy Corgan, Nick Aldis, and Mickey James. I respect what they're doing, and I try to like it, and I do like it to some extent, but they haven't won me over. And if ever they were going to win me over to watch that NWA pay per view, it would have been this weekend for the doubleheader. And I'm glad to hear reports that it went well. I've been to a couple relatively modern day NWA shows. Twin River Casino had Big Sid Vicious and Rob Conway. I mean, it's going back 10 or 12 years at this point, Adam. And I actually went to an NWA Hollywood taping back in the day with my friend Grant in Hollywood, California, and that was like a 4-hour tape. It was a lot of fun, but this was the NWA Hollywood thing, like in the early 2010s. Um, that's another thing. Okay, you got me. We're on wrestling topic, but for everybody, there's always going to be some choice. For instance, this wrestling promotion had this pay per view this past weekend, and you would think, well, gee whiz, Mike likes wrestling, he'll watch it. But once again, you have to be discriminatory in your choices. If that's the right word, is that the right word, Adam, or not? I don't think it's discriminatory. It's when you show when you pick and choose things. Discernment. That's the word I'm looking for. Discernment. You have to choose things with discernment, and we can get onto the top again. Hashtag Raw protest. It always seems to come there, doesn't it? Tonight there will be Monday Night Wrestling, Monday Night Raw, and for the non-wrestling fans, they say, "Oh well, whatever, it's just wrestling." But for pro wrestling fans, this was kind of a thing, like a Rocky Horror Picture Show or whatever, the Super Bowl once a year. But for week after week, for decades, this show was such an important part of the weekly wrestling calendar, and now it's just not. And now a lot of people that watch these shows, Adam and whoever else, if you're watching on the replay, you're watching Monday Night Raw out of habit. Solomonster said it. Habit and hope. Hope that the show gets better, and habit because you just watch out of habit. And using discernment and using discipline and using integrity and using what's another good word I can throw in this thing? Using all that stuff, I decided I'm not going to be a slave to watching Monday Night Raw. It's just not worth my time, and I feel good about that decision. I can always watch the replays. I can YouTube TV it and record it and skip through it. You know what I mean? So here we go. That's my thought with the WWE. I don't feel like I owe them anything. In fact, they owe me. They owe me and they owe every wrestling fan a bit of an apology, excuse me, for the way they've promoted their company for several years, the way that they've promoted. And I'm not the target audience of the WWE anymore. That's the Saudi Arabian officials, apparently, the Saudi Arabian Sports Authority with their billions of dollars. That's Vince McMahon's target audience. I'm no longer the target audience. Preference, I'm not paying for an NWA pay-per-view to watch Aldis, never done anything, versus Trevor, carried around a slop bucket and WWE jobber. Yeah, and here's the thing, man. That's why, I guess I'll try to inform the non-wrestling fans, because this is, but hey, we can go there. The the thing with pro wrestling is that this one company has had such a stranglehold, meaning the WWE, Junior McMahon. They've had such a stranglehold for so many years, 30 years now or so, that they can really manipulate and destroy lives and careers. And we've seen that do that to Terry Taylor, Red Rooster. You know what I mean? He could no longer be respected in the ring. He had to become a backstage guy. They put Dusty Rhodes in polka dots. So when I see guys like Tommy Dreamer, as great as Tommy Dreamer is, and he's wearing polka dots in some type of reference to Dusty Rhodes, it doesn't impress me. I get the irony of what he's doing. I just don't appreciate it because, you should put that little DR thing in the corner of your trunks if you want to honor Dusty Rhodes. Uh, you know what I mean? Just the wrestlers when they're in WWE become Vince McMeat puppets, and therefore tonight I won't be tuning in for Monday Night Raw. Whatever they do, whoever Bobby Lashley puts into a full Nelson is of no interest to me. Uh, Xavier Woods coming out with a trumpet is of no interest to me. Um, and you have to kind of make a fucking stand as a wrestling fan if you're going to go into Raw protest world. But it could also be a person who watches all the Star Wars movies and they feel inclined that they have to watch every fucking Star Wars movie. This fanboy fuckery, as I talked about this past weekend, is so controlling to people's lives that they don't realize at any given point you can stop being a fanboy for anything. You can hop right off whatever train you're on, whether it's a Star Wars fanhood, wrestling fanhood, and you might be thinking, well, gee whiz, Mike, if it just gives me excitement or it just gives me, pleasure to watch this stuff, that's fine. But at what cost? The cost is your time. People always underestimate the value of their own time. And whether that's work time, free time, family time, your time, you've got 24 fucking hours in a day. How many fucking years do you have to live? You don't know. I don't know. But my severe suggestion is stop doing things with your time that you feel are a waste of it. If you feel like watching Monday Night Raw for 3 hours and watching some pretty cornball shit is good for you and brings productivity to your life, you can go ahead. If you just hate watch it, like I like to say, and then just go on a podcast and bitch about how bored you were the whole time, you're a total idiot at that point. What does Adam have to say? Do you think AEW brings Bray in to take over Dark Order? Then there's a Raven ECW Sammy angle with the number one kid, if you remember that. I had pitched a storyline similar to that, Adam. I think I have a video on that somewhere where I was, believe it or not, I was pitching pretty much a similar type of thing with the kid. Negative one is Brody Lee's son. I was pitching Tay Conti in the role that you just pitched with Bray Wyatt. And you might be thinking, Tay Conti, what the hell are you thinking? My thought was Anna Jay was kind of a member of the Dark Order before she got injured. And Tay Conti had kind of done some tag team matches with Anna Jay. It was like a hot girls tag team, even though, Tay was not in the Dark Order and Anna Jay was. And I thought, wouldn't it be cute if they brought in Tay Conti as the leader of the fucking Dark Order? And then when Anna Jay got back from her injuries, they'd have like a two women fighting for the control of all these gimpy men. That's what I would do with it. And people, of course, Reddit, the AEW Reddit people, to be honest, are fucks. I mean, they're nice, but they're assholes too. And they, of course, overanalyze it. She can barely speak English. I'm like, well, okay, it's a goddamn wrestling promo. She's not reading Shakespeare. So I like where you're headed here, Adam. I do feel like it's look, Aleister Black, now Malachi Black, could have easily done the same thing with Dark Order. Uh, they are kind of doing that. Dark Order is rumbling like they're having inner squabblings now, which is somewhat interesting. I like the Dark Order. I feel have they had any belts? I don't think they have, right? They haven't had any belts, so I wonder, what's it going to take for the to get some championship gold, a tag belt, a TNT title, anything? And maybe that's part of what they're doing with Dark Order because they haven't put them to the top of the AW rung. By the way, I should mention if things proceed as they've been scheduled, the Monty and the Pharaoh show will be playing a Mike's AEW Apologist playlist. So, Adam, if you go over to Monty and the Pharaoh on YouTube, give them a subscribe as well. It should be up sometime this week, early in the week. It's already been recorded, the first episode of the AEW Apologist, which is me. And I'm just trying, the first topic is the crying fan. Not CM Punk's return, but the crying fan in the audience, if you recall, the gentleman that cried. I defended the guy against the cyber bully of Mike Monty, giving the guy a hard time, and I defended the poor guy. Well, folks, I'm about to start my day. I had to make modifications to my day. The heat is very hot today, and I had a plan, but as is the case sometimes, I had to reschedule. That's pretty good. The Steve Bortman of wrestling. I love that story. If you ever saw that ESPN doc, Adam, of it's the Chicago Cubs, right? And Steve Bartman, the guy that caught the foul ball or whatever, and he broke up a play that could have led to the Cubs winning the series. And ESPN did a special on him. ESPN did a special on him, but Bartman didn't even want to be seen on camera. So you feel for some of these people. The crying AEW fan, he's getting sneakers out of it. I did a whole video about it, which should be up soon. But I mean, I conjectured, CM Punk's going to hang out with the guy. Maybe he gets to eat sushi off the midsection of AJ Lee for a cheap thrill. Who knows? Anyway, folks, Adam, thanks for checking in. Next time, Adam, plug your stuff on here, and I will let you go. Everyone, thanks for checking in. Almost at 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate everybody checking in. I did change my Twitter handle to the Angry Wrestling Fan once again because that's where the anger is. If you want to see the nice guy Mike, go to MikeMessier.com. But I am still angry, but today I'm feeling a little bit better. Have a nice day, Adam. Thanks everybody for watching. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel.